manicure. It's not, for me, but I'm not. You want to go get one? That's fantastic. The Woodhouse has you covered. But I'll tell you what, man, woman, deep tissue massage, 90 minutes at the Woodhouse. Kaboom goes the dynamite. That's unbelievably good. Woodhouse Day Spa, 5 area locations. They're in Mid-City, New Orleans, on Canal Street at Carrollton, right in the heart of Mid-City. They're in Metairie near North Kenner, Transcontinental, West Esplanade. They're in Mandeville, about 3 minutes off the Causeway, 90 seconds from Treyen. East Causeway approach, right across the street from the Mandeville City Hall. Speaking of 90 seconds, about 90 seconds off the I-10 Gauze exit in Slidell. And they're by the Mall of Louisiana in Baton Rouge. 2 South Shore locations, 2 North Shore locations. Baton Rouge, WoodhouseSpas.com. Hey, Mom, you can print the gift card for him online, WoodhouseSpas.com. Father's Day is this Sunday. If I had procreated, I would love a Woodhouse Day Spa massage gift card as a gift. Are you kidding me? Someone gives me that? Nice little thought. You're the best. Enjoy the massage. I'd be fired up about that, getting that as a Father's Day gift. When you come out of the Woodhouse Day Spa after a 90-minute deep tissue massage, you are ready to take on the world, go take on a nap, do whatever you want. It is a total reset. Fantastic. Got a lot to discuss on this Monday afternoon. Rafael Goyeneche is going to join us. We have a ridiculously full slate of topics to discuss. Junket Cantrell, what is it? $250,000 in trips the last 18 months. $250,000 in trips the last few months. Kind of getting mixed signals on DA Jason Williams. Is that accurate or not? Rafael Goyeneche will give you a fair, objective take on it. That's for sure. No agenda. Crime statistics, no agenda there, based off of science and facts. And based off the science and facts, is New Orleans really doing a better job of policing, of going up against violent crime? Or do we have to give a lot of the credit to just national trends? That's nationwide. Tyrell Morris, Troop N, and the traffic stops, the state police in the city. Landry's plan to make, Jeff Landry, governor's plan to make New Orleans the safest city in America by February. A lot to discuss. Rafael Goyeneche in about 10 minutes on the program. Boy, we literally have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, New Orleans. And this is metro area because it's a sickness that goes beyond New Orleans. We literally have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity with this Super Bowl coming up in just 8 short months, 8 months away. We will clean up our city. We will clean up the city for the Super Bowl. We'll clean up the trash, litter, a lot of graffiti and weeds and illegal dumping. Now's the time, since we're cleaning it up. It's like your house was a mess. It's been that way for years. A fantastic maid service came in and just cleaned it, and it's like brand new again. How do we stay in that mode in New Orleans like most cities do? How do we not let it get all messed up again? How do we thank you, maid service? No, you don't have to come next week because we're going to keep up on it. When a few dishes get dirty in the sink, we're going to wash them. We're not going to let them pile up in the sink. We're going to vacuum up the dog hair every day, not every 3rd or 5th day. Going to dust, going to water the plants, whatever. Clean the bathroom, do the laundry. Keep up on it with a plan, not a pile up to where it's like a hoarding situation. So we have this opportunity where we're going to have our city pretty clean and spotless. How do we change the mentality of the populace, the locals, the citizens? I don't know the percentage. I don't want to say the majority of us. I'd like to think it isn't, because that would be absurd. But it is a larger than acceptable percentage of folks that litter, that throw trash out all over Metro New Orleans. Saw a pretty lady the other day, smiling at her. She's smiling at me. She's peeling a wrapper of some candy. I'm pumping gas, and she just drops the wrapper on the ground. I'm not smiling at her anymore. It's like, really? Just unconsciously, just that's how it is. This wrapper, I don't need it. I don't want it. It's my trash. I'm just going to drop it on the street in New Orleans somewhere. It's obnoxious. Some people just are coffee cups out the window of the car, McDonald's bag out the window of the car. It's crazy. I mean, how were you raised? Like in a pig pen, in a barn, or what? My God, how do you justify littering? How do you justify it? And you folks that it's just totally unconscious, my God, you're lost. Snap out of it. You need to be slapped around. It's pathetic. No, we have to change the mentality of the people. Could Orleans, Jefferson Parish, St. Tammany sanitation departments do a better job? Yeah, they could. Yeah, and I mentioned St. Tammany, the litter up against that chain link fence on the causeway, going north past Trayen, getting on the I-12 area. Yeah, there's litter and trash all over. Better job than Jefferson, better job than Orleans. I hope so. St. Tammany's the exurbs of New Orleans, part of the metro area. It better be a little cleaner. It's not the suburbs even, it's the exurbs. No, we need to stop the littering. It's over. No tolerance. Zero tolerance for litter. Get the Neville, somebody to come up with a good song. You're a sellout. You're a loser. You're a jerk if you litter. I don't know what it is. Make it snappy. Have pressure on people. Have cleanups. Got to clean up the city and keep it clean. We're probably the filthiest city in the United States of America. Nothing is more sad and pathetic and humorous than when a New Orleanian goes out of town, comes back. How was your trip to Phoenix? How was your trip to Dallas? How was your trip to Buffalo? Wherever. It's so clean there. It's so clean. That's the trip, huh? Wasn't the museum or the mountains or that exhibit you went and saw, the concerts. It's so clean. No, it's not that it's so clean. It's we're so dirty. We're so dirty. That's it. They're not so clean. All those cities aren't so clean. We're just filthy and dirty. And it's into Jefferson and it spills into St. Tammany. It's mostly Orleans Parish. It's folks from the metro area, black, white, young, old, a little girl in a private school uniform, some grandmother, everybody in between, Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. There's no set demo of who litters and throws their trash out the window. Educated, uneducated. It's the full spectrum. It's absurd. It's got to stop. We have this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity with the Super Bowl coming in 8 months where we clean it up. How do we sustain that? How do we keep that going? How do we not fall back to, no, Corey, it's just New Orleans. It's always going to be full there and look like crap. We got to do better. This is a great opportunity. Clean it up. Coming right back. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. It's a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
River Cities Total Maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Hey, Latrim, the global manufacturing giant over in Elmwood with about 1,400 employees. They're hiring. They've been on a hiring tear for about 2 or 3 decades now. They are the worldwide industry leader when it comes to the shrimp peeling machine, the alternating tread stair. But their biggest item, and it is the industry leader around the world, Intralox, that all plastic modular conveyor belt, that arm of Latrim. They're all over the world, from like Pepsi to Coke to Anheuser-Busch, from Toyota to Kia to Mercedes-Benz. Anything, any size, going up to second, third floors, upside down, held by magnets, held by air. This goes in one direction, this goes in another. State-of-the-art, all plastic modular conveyor belts at manufacturing plants and facilities all around the world. Built right here in New Orleans, in Elmwood. Latrim's hiring. For a full listing of positions available, go to Latrim.com. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, Latrim.com. Rafael Goyeneche is with us again from the Metropolitan Crime Commission. What's happening, Rafael?
Fine, Corey. How you been?
Doing well, man. Yourself?
Good. Just surviving the heat, just like everybody else.
Yeah, no doubt. Stay hydrated. Hey, instead of jamming this in at the end like we often do, how can folks get in touch with the Metropolitan Crime Commission if they have a tip? What would a tip be? What would people be not necessarily looking for, but maybe they're seeing it and they don't even know, or they know but they wouldn't know where to go? How can folks get in touch with you on that? And also, you guys have that email blast a few times a week, like the one I got today with all the crime statistics and the updates. How can folks get on that email blast list from you guys?
Right. So if you want to receive our weekly updates about crime trends and other things involving criminal justice, there's no charge for it. You can either go to our website, metrocrime.org, or call us at the office at 504-524-3148. And the same goes with reporting ethical, administrative, or criminal wrongdoing. We also document the tips that we receive from the public. We evaluate those tips. We work them up. We write reports, and then we make referrals to the appropriate agencies with the information that's been supplied to us. Just since 2009, there have been over 110 corruption-related felony convictions that were derived from referrals made by the Metropolitan Crime Commission. And that's not a testament to our investigative skills. That's the public trusting us, giving us the information that allows us to make those referrals to law enforcement. And law enforcement, when they're given credible, documentable information, you'll see that they're not afraid to take it and run with it, and many of those tips result in corruption-related felony convictions.
Yeah, it's like every few months a felony indictment on average.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's a testament to the people of this community recognizing that if they have information about wrongdoing and they don't do anything with it, then we're doomed to continue to be, the corruption capital of the free world. So I think that what we do a better job of in Louisiana and in this area than other states is, I think we have finally reached the threshold where the public recognizes that they have to report it. So I don't believe that we have more corruption here than any place else. I believe we're doing a better job of uncovering the corruption here than most places, in large part because of the public's recognition of the important role that they play in reporting ethical, administrative, and criminal wrongdoing.
Hey, Rafael, is there anything that you would say if you were bumped into somebody on the street and they're like, what's the big story, Rafael? What are you guys covering? What broke recently that stands out? I got about half dozen or so topics I want to throw out at you, but I was wondering, is there anything that jumps out at you right away?
Well, I mean, so we track a lot of the crime trends, and today one of the local media was in here talking to me about a couple of carjackings that occurred, and was at the beginning of a trend. And, we looked at the data, and what we saw was it's not so much the carjackings. It was like 4 carjackings over a period of 3 days. But what did jump out at us when I reviewed it was that we saw an appreciable increase in the past week with respect to automobile thefts over the prior week. So last week, which ended at Sunday at midnight, we had 93 reported automobile thefts versus 67 the week before. And some of those automobile thefts are being initially reported as carjackings. So there was a carjacking that was reported on Saturday when it was really an automobile theft. The car was stolen from the owner, and he was able to track the location of his car with air tags that he had in his vehicle.
Nice.
So he went to the scene of where his car was and confronted the people that were standing next to his car.
Wow.
He got shot.
Wow.
For it. So that wasn't a carjacking. It was a theft with an aggravated battery. on top of it. So I think that, those trends that we're looking at, the police department is looking at, and they're looking at it not just in the totality of how many auto thefts there were last week, but how those auto thefts were broken down on a district by district basis. So, we have that information too. And the districts that had the highest automobile thefts rates were going to be the 1st, the 3rd, and the 7th district. So those 3 districts were responsible for over 50% of the automobile thefts that were reported during last week. So that's how the police department is going to address that, by focusing on the hot spots where they see automobile thefts substantially increasing.
Obviously, you don't want to approach somebody that is around your stolen vehicle because you have air tags and could follow it. Rafael, what's sad about this story? Like, there really would have been no recourse. I mean, it would have to be like some small community with like a, local sheriff department knows everybody in the area. What were you going to call police and say, I found my car, meet me 2 blocks away though, so we don't scare them off. And then you don't come in your squad car. We're going to walk the block in, and then I'm going to point it out to you. And then one of y'all come from the other side so they don't scatter. And then you probably want to pull your gun out. I mean, the police aren't going to accommodate all that. There's no way to really do anything. And again, it's such a bad catch-22 because you got to be crazy to approach somebody that stole your car.
All right, because many of the people that are stealing cars now, they're not stealing them for joyrides. They're stealing them to use them as transportation and other criminal activity.
Yep.
So the person that stole this person's car,
it's criminal.
Obviously had a gun on him.
Yep.
Because he shot the owner of the car, and when the car owner confronted the person.
Yep.
About it. So there's a moral to that story, and it's the point that you just made. You can report it to the police. You dial the communications district, and most of the stolen automobiles, the owner discovers them a couple of hours or the next morning after the car was stolen, or they walk back to where they thought they parked the car after a dinner or a social event, and the car is gone.
Yep.
So the thieves have got a head start and are gone. But in the rare situation where the owner locates the car, the moral of that story is they don't attempt to retrieve the car themselves. They call back the communications district and say, listen, I reported my car stolen 3 hours ago, and I verified that it's at this location. I'm a block away. I can see it. And there are certain individuals, 1, 2, 3 people in the car or standing next to the car at this location. And let the dispatcher see if they can get an officer.
Yeah, or hell, I'll even
then my car is gone and I don't have any information other than I'm reporting it stolen.
I'll send you my GPS information. You can track it yourself, password, whatever you need for this,
right,
GPS type device that's letting me know. And your cops can go track it down yourself. Yeah, ideally undercover, ideally not in uniform, ideally no lights, walk up unsuspecting, ready to deal with somebody who might have a gun, criminals committing crimes. Yeah, the cars aren't getting stolen and going out to some chop shop somewhere. That's for sure. It's for committing crime.
Used for transportation for crime, and then when the tank gets low, or they've had the car for a couple of days, and then they believe that the license plate is in a database, they just abandon it on the side of the road and steal another car.
Yep. No, some people get their car back and it's not even in that bad a shape. Some people's cars are, almost destroyed by these types of folks that do it. So no, it's totally the deal there. Rafael Goyeneche with us from the Metropolitan Crime Commission. We got a lot more to discuss with Rafael on this, national trends on crime, how it's affecting New Orleans, what New Orleans is doing right, Troop End, all kind of good stuff. Don't go anywhere. More with Rafael Goyeneche next.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today, and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Rafael Goyeneche is with us from the Metropolitan Crime Commission. Hey, Rafael, generally speaking, crime in the Metro New Orleans area, when you break it down with the 4 categories that you guys focus in on: homicide, shooting, carjacking, armed robbery, back to like 2019 levels, right?
Approaching that, not as good as it was in 2019. But keep in mind, 2019, they were about 1,240 or so officers. We're at 900 today. So, that's a big explanation. So, the issues that we're having here and we began to document starting in 2020 when crime started to go up. We saw the numbers of police officers go down, and it accelerated from 20 into 21 into 22, where it hit its zenith in probably the past 30 years from a violent crime perspective in the city. And last year we saw a decline, and we're seeing that decline continue into 2024 and accelerate. And I don't attribute that to just, the luck of the draw. I think that crime is down because the police department is doing some different things. And I think that some of the strategies that they've employed beginning in the latter part of 2022 into 23 and now into 24 are proving very successful in reducing the violent crime rate, particularly when we started to see crime go up and the numbers of officers go down because there's a shortage of officers. And it was taking so long to respond to calls for service.
Yep.
The police department essentially put all of their eggs into trying to more quickly respond to calls for service. And to do that, they had to prioritize violent crime. And they did a good job of responding to violent crime in a pretty timely manner. Last month we were looking at 13 minutes. If we were talking about April of 23, it was 40 minutes.
At least.
So they brought down their response times for violent crime, and we're seeing response times for property crime improving. But that's largely because of crime being reduced. So what the police department has effectively done to drive down the crime rate, they went back to proactive policing, because if all they do is wait for someone to dial 911, that means a crime's already committed. And because of the numbers of officers, they're not going to get there in most of those cases in a timely enough manner to apprehend somebody at the scene of a crime. So proactive policing allows the police to use their training to strategically stop people before they get a 911 call. An officer can initiate a stop for reasonable suspicion based on their training and observations. And one of the primary tools that the police department used to reduce violent crime in 2023 and now into 2024 is the reliance on the carrying a concealed weapon statute. So under Louisiana law, you can only carry a concealed weapon if you have a permit to carry that weapon. So police, particularly in areas like the French Quarter and Warehouse District and Central Business District, are constantly looking for individuals that they can detect the outline of a weapon under their clothing. And if they can detect that weapon under their clothing, that gives them the reasonable suspicion to approach that person, ask them if they have a weapon, and if they answer yes, they ask them if they have a permit, and if they answer no, they can begin to make an arrest. And about 60% of those misdemeanor gun stops evolved into felony arrests because the individual carrying the firearm is a convicted felon. The individual carrying the firearm has a felony warrant for their arrest. That firearm may have been stolen. That firearm may be fully automatic. So those are individuals that the police initiate the stop. They don't have to wait for someone to report it to dispatch. And by arresting those individuals, A, they're taking those guns out of commerce, and B, those individuals are being arrested and booked on more serious felony offenses, and many of those people remain in custody. And as a result of that strategy by the police department, I think that was the backbone of many of the crime reductions that we've encountered here over the past year and a half. Now, that weapon goes away, or that tool goes away on July the 4th because of the new constitutional carry legislation that was passed during the second special legislative session earlier this year. So anybody over the age of 18 without any training, without any background checks, come July 4th, get to carry a concealed weapon, and the police can't do anything unless and until that person pulls out that weapon and uses it to commit a crime.
Hey, Rafael, kind of a strange question. Like if it were a pie chart, all those things you mentioned, let's throw in nationwide crime trends going down. What would be the percentage of the pie chart in New Orleans that you would give credit towards national trends, violent crime trends going down all across America?
So I don't pretend to be an expert about the national trends, but when crime was going up around the country, the rate at which crime was going up in New Orleans was greater than the national trend. In 2022, as I pointed out, that was the worst year from a violent crime perspective that we've experienced in this city in over 3 decades.
Yep.
So in 2022, we were among the most violent jurisdictions in the United States. And on a per capita basis, I think we were in the top 2 for the rate of homicides per capita. So I don't believe that crime goes up or down just haphazardly. There's a cause and effect and a reason. So in 2020, when the George Floyd and COVID hit, I think the police began to retreat from some of their strategies, as I pointed out, like proactive policing. And I think as a result of that, we saw crime go up nationally, but it went up at an even higher rate in the city of New Orleans, and it's declining now at a higher rate in the city of New Orleans, in large part, I believe, because the police department has gone back to embracing strategic policing by using proactive strategies such as firearms enforcement, traffic enforcement, and drug enforcement.
Hey,
police can observe those 3 areas, and that gives them the suspicion to stop somebody, and those stops often lead to felony arrests.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, like you said, the experiment of the coming July enactment of the law where you can carry a concealed gun and how that affects those folks, the arrests that police were making. Also, kind of in a similar vein, the troop end traffic stops, Rafael. NOPD were busy chasing crime instead of proactively going after it. Now you have these state troopers patrolling the city. They don't have the consent decree to slow them down. And like seeing a bulge in someone's pants or sock or whatever and suspecting it's a gun and then being able to approach that person and simply ask them. Same thing with tail light out, no license plate, window tint too dark, which is a major problem, I think, in New Orleans. The state police are pulling people over, and it's leading to other things, obviously.
Absolutely, and so is the NOPD. Ann Kirkpatrick, the new superintendent, she announced several weeks ago that the police department was going to be more aggressive in traffic enforcement strategically in certain high crime spots throughout the city.
Good.
So there's nothing in the consent decree that prohibits any law enforcement agency, including the police department, from conducting traffic enforcement.
I guess police chases and some things like that, they're restricted.
It's a fundamental function of law enforcement to do that. And, it's one thing to have speed cameras up, where you catch someone running through a red light. And all they're going to do is get a ticket. Now, if that was a stolen car or a wanted felon, they get away. And the next time that the police have to respond to that person that ran the red light, that was given a ticket is when they commit another crime and the police are fortunate enough to get there in time. If the police officer stops somebody for running a red light, the officer then has the ability to run their name through a database and see if they're wanted. And if they're wanted for a felony, they arrest them. And if they arrest them, that means that they're not necessarily on the streets to commit crimes, in the future.
Exactly.
With that.
Exactly. You're arresting criminals.
So state police doing that made an arrest their first week of fully kicking off the new troop NOLA.
Yep.
And they stopped somebody, and as it turns out, the individual that they stopped had a warrant out of, I think, Pennsylvania for a murder that was committed there. So they took a murderer off the streets.
Hey, Rafael, hold that thought. I want to pick that up right on the other side. We're visiting with Rafael Goyeneche from the Metropolitan Crime Commission. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Ooh, Lord Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Lord Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
Rafael Goyeneche of the Metropolitan Crime Commission is with us. So, Rafael, in a nutshell, the traffic stops for folks driving illegally, like no license plate or too dark a tint or no brake tag or a tail light out or something, these are legitimate stops that anyone driving a vehicle like that should expect. Driving at night with no lights. And if... I shouldn't say if, it often leads to other things, like you mentioned, drugs, guns, etc., criminals, somebody with an arrest warrant.
Right. And because the police make a traffic stop, it doesn't mean that they have to issue a ticket or anyone's going to go to jail. If they do issue the ticket, it's just a ticket.
Yep.
But if the police don't have those encounters with the public, they are allowing people that may have more serious charges pending against them to escape detection, which leads to higher crime rates. And as crime goes up, so does the police response times, because we're still stuck at about 900 officers, and we need 1,250 to police this city. So part of the reason that one of the benefits, an additional benefit of crime going down, is the fact that police can respond to fewer calls for service in a more timely manner, which is a win-win across the board. So it's critically important, and the police recognize that. That's why they're leaning into the proactive policing with gun enforcement, traffic enforcement, and narcotics enforcement. Because, it's going to be a while before reinforcements arrive. So they have to be very strategic in how they approach policing the city. And I believe the department has over the past 18 months, and that's one of the major factors that I attribute to the across-the-board reductions in property and violent crime.
What do you say to the naysayer who says this is the perfect way for police to profile?
Well, so, I think maybe in the day, that may have had, some merit to it, but now every officer wears body cam. So those body cam cameras, those stops, they're all reviewed by supervisors on a regular basis. The NOPD is under a consent decree and has been for 12 years. So not only is the police department reviewing this data, but so are the federal monitors and the federal judge in all of this. And last week there was a hearing in which the last hurdle before the judge determines or decides if New Orleans is in substantial compliance with the consent decree.
Yep.
That hearing dealt with bias-free policing, making sure that the police aren't racially profiling. And the court, after hearing what the police department was doing, asked the department to prepare their sustainment plan, which is code for saying that the judge is satisfied that the police department is largely in substantial compliance with the consent decree. Once she rules that they are in compliance with the consent decree, it starts a 2-year wind down period. And the judge wants to see their plan, the police department's plan now, for the sustainment of the achievements of the police department over the past 12 years and maintaining compliance with the consent decree over the last 2 years of the step down period.
Wow.
So I think that the judge, by asking the police department for their sustainment plan, is preparing to declare the police department in substantial compliance with all the provisions of the consent decree. And we might find out about that, over the next 2 months or so, by August sometime, I suspect.
So you think the feds wanting the NOPD's future plan, essentially without a consent decree, is leading you to believe that the city is on the brink of being released from that. But even if that takes place, it is a full 2-year wind down?
Yes, that's correct. But I keep in mind that, the real value of this consent decree is going to be 5 years after it goes away, because we've seen the NOPD go through cycles of, reform only to backslide. So everything the police department provides to the monitors is the result of data that the police department collects and reviews to ensure that they're in compliance with the consent decree. So we don't want to go down this path again.
Yep.
So the police department has the know-how and the resources now to measure their performance in all the areas that are essential to maintain constitutional policing. So this is just a matter of the police department continuing to do what they've been taught to do and learned how to do over the past 12 years. So this is now, essentially, this is, now that you've lost the weight, you're maintaining your weight.
Yep.
And that's what this next phase signals. You got many cities that are under consent decrees that are 20 plus years old. So I think that were it not for some of the tactics utilized by the mayor over the past year and a half, we would have been in compliance with the consent decree over a year ago.
Wow.
But the mayor elected to try and litigate her way out from underneath the consent decree. When Ann Kirkpatrick came in as superintendent, she recognized immediately, because of her experience, that the path to ending the consent decree is to achieve compliance.
Yep.
And the fact that we're on the cusp of compliance in a short period of time under Ann Kirkpatrick's leadership is an indication of how close the police department was to compliance.
Yeah. Yep.
And I give her credit for leading this thing and getting us to the point where we're on the verge of being in compliance.
Rafael, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us.
Anytime, Corey.
Thank you. That's Rafael Goyeneche, Metropolitan Crime Commission. That's Blue Boy barking up a storm somewhere. There he is. See you in a second, New Orleans. 5 o'clock powwow is next.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The city's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your color so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
Oh boy. Oh boy. It's Miami Vice. Crockett or Tubbs. I've seen like Don Johnson lately. He looks fine. That dude with the 3 names, Michael Thomas, whatever his name is, how does he look today? Hey, Corporal, let's pull him up. Miami Vice actors today. Don Johnson looks fine. I saw him a few years ago in a Tarantino film. The Django Unchained, that was probably a decade ago. Don Johnson looked just fine. I bet you what Michael Thomas, what's the other guy's name? It's 3 names.
Philip Michael Thomas.
Philip Michael Thomas. I bet he doesn't look so good today. Check him out. I think Philip Michael Thomas is chunky. Am I right? I think he's a big old dude. Nope.
No.
He's fit. He looks good.
He's actually looking
all right. I'm way off then. Apologies. Thought he was going to be a big tub of goo. I was just rolling the dice. I knew Don Johnson looked good. I was like, all right, one of them probably doesn't. That's good. They both look good. I haven't seen Philip Michael Thomas. Is that it? Haven't seen him in a while. He was pretty cool. They were cool, Miami Vice. That was like 40 years ago. I thought Don Johnson was good in Django Unchained. He nailed that part. And then he got killed. And no one was complaining about it. Why would you complain about it? The plantation owner? Come on, please. I'm not trying to like be pro death or any of that, but yeah, no one was complaining about that. Or the three brothers, no one was complaining about them. Jeez and Pete's. Corey Johnson with you. Hey, Father's Day is this Sunday. Can you believe that? You got to take care of dad. Ladies, you got to take care of dad. Guys, you got to take care of the dads in your life. Your dad. Any dads in your life? I always talk about Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, what she wants, a day of relaxation at the Woodhouse Day Spa. That's what the guys want too. They may not want the manicure or pedicure. Some guys do, but they definitely want that deep tissue massage. Boy, is that fantastic. 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations, 1 near where you live or work. Mid-City, New Orleans, Metairie near North Kenner, Mandeville, Slidell, Baton Rouge. WoodhouseSpas.com. WoodhouseSpas.com. You can print your own gift certificate for him, Father's Day, online, or head to one of the 5 locations. WoodhouseSpas.com. 40 years ago this week, this Wednesday, 40 years ago, the 1984 World's Fair, cranking up in the city, New Orleans, Warehouse District, Montreal Convention Center, some good leftovers from the World's Fair. Name an attraction from the 1984 World's Fair. Name an attraction from the 1984 World's Fair. You do that? I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations just in time for this Sunday's Father's Day. Name an attraction from the 1984 New Orleans World's Fair. Rouse's Markets phone lines to participate in the program, 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open. The corporal's at the controls. Salute him when he answers, 766-9480. Believe it or not, he can look in the phone and see if you're saluting or not. Even an old school landline, he looks right in the holes of the phone where your voice goes in. You can see. 766-9480. Name an attraction from the 1984 World's Fair. 40 years ago, this Wednesday, the gates opened for about 6 months through like November. Lots of cool stuff. I mean, was the fair a failure? Yes. Overall, yes. Was it done right and fairly first class? I think so. I think it was pretty nice. I wish they would have made some of the things that were temporary permanent, that would still be here today, like the convention center, like the transformation of an old warehouse district outdated into the warehouse district neighborhood. People living in these old buildings with 14, 16, 18-foot ceilings and big old beams and the like, old brick, nice, big windows, some with balconies, rooftop penthouses, all that good stuff. Speaking of good stuff, Leidenheimer Baking Company, they're baking the good stuff, that Leidenheimer French bread you've grown up with. If you're in New Orleans right now, it doesn't matter how old you are. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, over 100. Leidenheimer French bread's always been there. My mom's 93. Leidenheimer French bread has been around my mother's entire life. She's been eating Leidenheimer French bread for 93 plus years. Now, whatever age you are in New Orleans, if you've been here your whole life, that's how many years you've been eating Leidenheimer French bread, because it's most likely on that great po' boy. It's most likely at that fine dining restaurant before the meal gets started. The official French bread of New Orleans, Leidenheimer French bread, Leidenheimer Baking Company. That's as New Orleans as it gets, huh? Boy, that West Pearl River Bridge, Highway 90, Chef Highway, in between like White's Kitchen and the state line, Pearlington, Mississippi. Back in the news, trying to get that thing sped up. This is such an easy solution. It really is. It's easy. It's easy. It's total BS that it's shut down. First off, you get the federal government involved because you yell at the top of your lungs, it's a major hurricane evacuation route. It is a major east-west, west-east, actually it would be west to east, hurricane evacuation route. And it's shut down. You cannot go Chef Highway, through Slidell, into Mississippi. And that's unacceptable. First off, about 4,000 cars a day use it. When I-10 screwed up, you can just add a lot more cars. That Fremo exit, straight south, hitting 90. It can be a mile of cars waiting for the stop sign for folks to turn left when I-10 screwed up. They got to put police out there to flow the traffic through quicker. No, it is an alternate route. We're on an island. New Orleans is on an island, and you're taking away, look at it like a clock if you want to. If you're looking at the North Shore's 12 o'clock, you got Airline Highway, then you got I-10. And then you got I-55, you got the Causeway, you got the Highway 11 bridge, you got I-10, and then you got Highway 90. There's like about, 6-7 ways in and out of this island we live on called New Orleans, literally an island. You can't cut away one of the arteries. And it's an old, outdated 2-lane highway. This isn't some major highway that's, it would be so expensive to fix. Post-Katrina, when the I-10 got blown out, they put those metal, rails that, were obviously fortified. It's a railing's not the right way. Like a girder of aluminum, of some lightweight, super strong metal. Maybe it's steel. I have no idea. And then they had the panels that were bolted down and that to keep maintaining the panels when they popped up. That's what you need to do. All the boats that are north of that drawbridge, bring them south or route them from the West Pearl into the main Pearl if that's possible. If not, bring them south of the drawbridge. Lower the drawbridge full time, never comes up anymore, and put those panels on the bridge. So it is temporarily fixed. No 18-wheelers, none of that. But get that bridge in operation for regular cars, trucks, SUVs, human beings, Chef Highway, Highway 90. And then you're simultaneously building the replacement bridge for the drawbridge. But that bridge needs to be lowered. There needs to be the panels on it like post-Katrina I-10 and open that bridge full time. It's ridiculous. Now they're talking about all those little mini bridges, all from the Huey Long era from the 30s, 90 years old roughly, 85, 90 years old. They say all of them need to replace. A lot of them are just little metal bridges, overbuilt. I don't know how many of those legitimately need to be replaced that can be repaired and fixed. But that road needs to be working. It's a major hurricane evacuation route. It is a federal highway. Come on, Steve Scalise, John Kennedy, get this done yesterday. The temporary fix with the panels, the bridge lowered, it's open, and then the money where we're simultaneously building the replacement bridge. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday. Don't go anywhere.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint. Supply.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com. Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City. Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you on a Monday. Brett Martell is going to join us. Another Martell Monday. Brett Martell's been with the Associated Press for, about almost 30 years now. Almost 30 years. It is a Monday afternoon edition of the program. Name an attraction at the 1984 World's Fair. Any attraction from the 1984 World's Fair, and I've got $50 for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. 9480, Rouse's Markets phone lines. The corporals at the controls fielding your phone calls, 766-9480. Name an attraction from the 1984 World's Fair, and I've got $50 big bucks for you, good at the Woodhouse. This Wednesday, 40 years ago this Wednesday, the 1984 World's Fair opened here in New Orleans. The fair was a failure, but the after effects were still pretty good, still to this day. The Warehouse District neighborhood continues to grow. The Montreal Convention Center. A few other things. If you're ever on Bayou St. John, I guess you're heading towards the lake. You come over the Wisner overpass over the I-610. You're heading towards the lake. You hit that stoplight, what's that, Harrison Avenue? If you kind of, right when you go through the light, if you look to your right, that house on Park Island with those like metal trees, those aluminum looking trees on the water, those are from the World's Fair, those trees, those metal trees. That was a good grab for that homeowner. Looks good right there, I think, in the front of that house, which I want to say, I forget what consulate that was. That was some like foreign consulate, believe it or not, that house on Park Island for years. Anyway, a bunch of worthless information brought to you by Jimmy's Speed Shop in Kenner. Need to soup up that Camaro or Trans Am? Jimmy's Speed Shop in Kenner's got you covered. Jimmy's Speed Shop. Jimmy's Speed Shop also sells 118 octane gas. 118. It's like jet fuel. Jimmy's Speed Shop in Kenner. Oh, boy. Father's Day this Sunday. Don't forget. Yeah, the West Pearl River drawbridge on Highway 90 needs to be lowered. Steel panels put down, temporarily, repaired where it is drivable 24/7, 365. Whatever boats need to go under it, move them south of the bridge. Build a temporary marina for them. Have them go through the Pearl. I don't know what to tell you. You got to figure it out. That bridge needs to be down. It is hurricane season. That bridge can't be up. It's a joke. I mean, people that commute, that live like in Diamond Head or Waveland or Long Beach, it's got to be pissed. You're like, man, I left New Orleans and Louisiana for southern Mississippi because of the dysfunction of New Orleans and Louisiana, yet I still love New Orleans and Louisiana. That's why I only went to Diamond Head or Waveland. And then you can't even use the scenic route, the Pearlington, Highway 90 route, the old route, Chef Highway, in and out of the city. It's pathetic. And then you have all kind of trouble and traffic. First off, just traffic will slow down in general because people drive in the left lane. But like after the I-10, I-12, I-59 split in Slidell, you're going on I-10 to the big Pearl River Bridge at the state line. It'll back up there. And then if you have any kind of accident or someone on the side of the road or whatever, it's going to back up for miles. No, people could get off at Fremo and go due south to White's Kitchen and Highway 90 and hook a left and go into Pearlington and, go up whatever, 602, 604, 607 to 90 and right into southern Mississippi, or get on the I-10 at exit 2 right there by the Infinity Space Station, by Stennis, whatever. You have an option, but it's unacceptable that that bridge is closed. It's been closed for years. It's going to be continue to be closed. They have no construction of a bridge to replace it going on right now. I mean, two things: lower the drawbridge, steel panels, open it. Second thing, you're simultaneously building the new bridge as you're, keeping the other one working. Got to come in with new panels in 6 months. Got to close it for a weekend because we're going to put new panels down, whatever. Post-Katrina I-10, think about that, how they maintained the I-10 until the new I-10 was built, the $1 billion I-10, $900 million from New Orleans East to Slidell. No, they pieced together and patched together the old I-10 and temporarily kept it going for a few years. Same thing here. I can't help it that there's only 4,000 cars on a regular day. That's the secondary point. The primary point, it is a major hurricane evacuation route. And I'm not trying to, say that the 4,000 cars are insignificant. They're significant. Those people deserve to have that road open. Federal highway, too. This is an easy solution. Get the feds involved. Come on, Kennedy. Come on, Scalise. Let's go. Overdue already. Get it opened yesterday. This hurricane season, not next. They should be able to come in, the feds, lower that drawbridge, get that bridge where it can be temporarily used within a few weeks. Within a few weeks. Not a few months, a few weeks. And then get the funding together to get a new bridge built in the same spot right next to it. Right next door. Boy, we literally have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, New Orleans. Got to take advantage of this. This is major. The Super Bowl is in 8 months. We will clean up the city for the Super Bowl. There won't be litter and trash and weeds and graffiti. We're going to fix streets and sidewalks, and we're going to clean up the city. No trash, no litter, no weeds, no graffiti. City's going to look really good. And then right after the Super Bowl's over, the folks that make it filthy, the populace, the citizens of Metro New Orleans, I don't know what the percentage is. I don't think it's a majority, but it's a painfully large percentage of the population, black, white, old, young, rich, poor, Republican, Democrat, that litter. Grandma, private school girl, 8 years old. Beautiful woman the other day, I'm pumping gas. She's walking out the gas station, smiling at me, peeling some wrapper off a candy, something, just drops it on the ground. My God, unbelievable. Women, men, grandma, it doesn't matter. Children. We have a major littering problem. People weren't raised right. Seriously. I don't know how you folks justify the littering, honestly. It is pathetic. It's selfish. It's pathetic. It's dirty. It's ugly. You just don't care. Have no self-pride. Don't care about the surroundings. Aloof. Oblivious. Unconscious. I don't know what your problem is, but it's beyond wrong. And so many people do it. No, the city's going to become clean. It's like your house. You know, it's a mess. And you had a great maid service come in and they clean the hell out of it. And it is perfect. Ideally, you don't want the maid coming every 2 weeks, every month, every week, whatever. You want to maintain it. When a few dishes get dirty in the sink, you clean them right away. Vacuum up the dog hair every day. Just keep maintaining it. The maid never has to come. It's always clean. That's what we have to do here. We're about to have the maid come and clean the house. We don't need to let the dishes pile back up in the sink and dog hair everywhere and just a filthy, dirty house. No, we have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity because these Super Bowls don't come every, 3 to 5 years anymore to New Orleans. The Pope doesn't come to visit anymore in New Orleans. These opportunities where we clean up, they're rare. It isn't like every year for Mardi Gras Jazz Fest we clean up. So we will clean up the city. That's not even an argument. That's on the major checklist in many different forms, from litter to trash to illegal dumping, graffiti, weeds, all kind of stuff. No, we have to change. It's an opportunity for us to change the mentality of the people of Metro New Orleans that litter and throw trash. I don't know how we do it. By stricter enforcement, by utilizing cameras, by the Neville Brothers or some group writing a song just calling people out that litter, that they're pathetic, that they're weak, that they're losers, something. I'm just saying that it catches on where people... We have to change the mentality of the litterer. Not me, probably not you, but the people that litter all the time. And it's everywhere all the time. And it's Jefferson Parish and St. Tammany too. You want to know why? Because it's New Orleanians in all those places. Now, urban, New Orleans, inner city, the worst. Jefferson Parish suburbs, not as bad. The exurbs, the North Shore, not as bad as Jefferson. But still... apples to apples, suburb Jefferson Parish to like a suburb of Atlanta, Houston, Dallas, Phoenix, Denver. It's filthy. North Shore, you think North Shore is like Las Colinas in Dallas? Please. Now, I said it last hour. People go on vacation. Hey, man, how was your trip to Phoenix? It's so clean. No, it's not. You went for the museum. You went for the whatever. I don't care about if it's clean. That's your first impression. I mean, that's a lot of New Orleanians say that. And it's incorrect. It's not they're so clean. We're so dirty. We're so filthy and dirty. Where you folks go travel and you're like, it's so clean. That's what you come back and say. Oh, nothing about the museum. Nothing about the concert you were going to. Nothing about work. It was so clean. That's your impression of that city. Wow. I bet if you go to a bunch of other cities after New Orleans, you're going to say they're so clean too. No, they're not so clean. They're normal. That's how it's supposed to be. New Orleans is filthy and full of litter and trash. And could we have better sanitation department in Orleans Parish, Jefferson, North Shore? Of course. But that's not the problem. The problem's the people that litter, that throw their trash out of their car, that throw down the wrapper, the gum, the cigarettes, whatever. Cigarette smokers, don't get me started. What, like 9 out of 10 of you just throw the cigarette butt out and Justified because every other smoker does it? It's real small. It doesn't biodegrade. The number one piece of litter by tonnage in America, cigarette butts. New Orleans, Louisiana, America, cigarette butts. No, the cigarette smokers are the worst. They justify littering. The pickup truck driver throws the litter in the back of the truck and then mysteriously gets home. Oh, the litter wizard came and took it out of my truck. No, it's on the road. Somewhere in between point A and B, it blew out of your truck. What a joke. It's like denial. Adults riding a truck, throwing the trash in the back of the truck, pretending they're throwing their garbage away when they're littering. Grow up. Stop throwing it in the truck bed. Throw it on the front passenger seat floor till you get to a destination where you can put it in a trash can. Quit being selfish. No, we literally have a chance, a once-in-a-lifetime chance to change what has plagued New Orleans my entire lifetime and probably most people in New Orleans' entire lifetime. We are arguably, and it's an easy argument, the filthiest city in the United States of America, the dirtiest, filthiest city, full of more litter than any other city. It's just sad. It should not be that way. Hunter Biden gun case going to a jury. Deliberations have begun. That felony gun case, federal gun trial. 3 felonies. Buying the gun back in October of 2018. Lying on a federal gun form about drug addiction. Had the gun illegally for 11 days. Corey Johnson with you. On a Monday afternoon. Yeah, you right. Blue Plate Mayonnaise with you on a Monday afternoon. Blue Plate Mayonnaise with you for about 95 years. Since 1927. Spread the love. Blue Plate Mayonnaise. If you're a New Orleanian, it's got to be Blue Plate Mayonnaise. I've never purchased any other mayonnaise. Hey, Father's Day's this Sunday. Guys would like a deep tissue massage, too, over at the Woodhouse Day Spa. 5 locations, 2 on the South Shore, 2 on the North Shore, Baton Rouge. WoodhouseSpas.com. WoodhouseSpas.com. Hey, Brett Martell, another Martell Monday. Brett Martell from the Associated Press, almost 30 years. He's going to join us next to discuss a lot. Hey, why aren't you at Katie's right now in Mid-City? What a great Monday wind down the workday place and then just fade right into dinner. The quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurants with New Orleans specialties, old school, a Mid-City mainstay, Iberville, corner Talamacus, as New Orleans as it gets. Why aren't you at Katie's right now?
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. No AC.com, your cool spot. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. No AC.com, your cool spot.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us to you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can anymore. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
I heard that comment, Corporal. Hey, Brett, I'm going to put you on hold so I can deal with the child. That's what the corporal said. I got a great compliment from, it was either Travers or Fletcher. I forget, I was like 50 at the time. It's like, dude, you look 30, you move around like you're 20, and you act like you're 10 or something like that. I was like, F-bomb, F-bomb, F-bomb. Hey, Young's Dry Cleaning is a New Orleans institution since 1940, 85 years of excellence. It's .com, youngsdrycleaning.com. It is a Martell Monday. Brett Martell, almost 30 years with the Associated Press, joining us on the program again. What up, Brett?
Hey, Corey, how are you?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
Too bad. It's a little hot outside, but just all right.
What's the biggest sports story right now?
The biggest what?
Sports story right now, this moment?
In Louisiana, or I would say the Saints training camp, or mini camp, I should say.
Did you hear Paul Maneri might be going to South Carolina?
I did hear about that.
I guess that's sort of, I don't know if that's big or not. I don't know. Could you believe the UConn coach turned down the Lakers and $70 million bucks?
Well, a good raise from UConn, and I think he has a good situation, and at UConn, it may be a very sustainable one, and at some point, I think it's about a little bit more than money.
Yeah, no, I agree, Brett, and I can appreciate all that. But boy, it's the Lakers gig. It's like the Dodgers, it's the Yankees, it's New England or something. It's just it's Dallas, whatever. There are only so many of these monster teams. The Lakers are one of them. It's LA. Second biggest market. But no, I appreciate it too. Staying at UConn, I'm assuming he'll get a big raise, an Izzo type deal, huh?
Probably, but also, as currently constructed, the Lakers are a complicated team, let's say. They have a megastar on the team, but he's on the back end of his career. And they've had, they've rolled through a number of pitches, and if you're a coach, you have to tread carefully in a situation like that.
Yep. Boy, Justin Jefferson, the old Tiger receiver, cashing in big time, that Vikings lucrative deal.
Yep. He's been one of the best receivers in the NFL now since leaving LSU. Had an extraordinary rookie year, has had an extraordinary last several seasons. And, other than when he's been hurt, he's been almost like must-see TV with all the catches he's been making. So I kind of understand it. It's a good story for former LSU player and a Destrehan kid.
Boy, Scotty Scheffler playing like Tiger Woods right now, just in time too, huh? U.S. Open, Pinehurst #2. Should be interesting this week, huh, Brett?
Well, he has to be a favorite just because of the way he plays and how U.S. Opens are set up, right?
Yep.
Like the most consistently boring, hitting fairways and greens in regulation guy is probably the favorite.
Yeah, stay out of trouble, narrow fairways, high rough, speedy greens. They want it to be the toughest challenge in golf. No, you're right. Everybody else, we saw down the stretch at the Masters, just everybody hooking, slicing, the pressure gets to these players. You can't do that at a U.S. Open when the rough's, a foot tall.
Exactly. And I think that his consistency maybe forces some other players to take risks, and maybe they can beat him if those risks pay off. And more often than not, they get in trouble and then they're out of it.
Yep. Rough being a foot tall might be an exaggeration, but it's thick, it's gnarly, it's deep. Fairways are narrowed. Greens are sped up to ridiculous speeds, almost like borderline unfair. I hope. It's the U.S. Open, Brett. You want it to be a pitcher's duel, not a home run derby. It's a major, right?
Absolutely.
Brett Martell's with us. Hey, Brett, I've got a non-story. You ready for it?
Sure.
I guess you could do this for a bunch of Saints players at OTA, like who's not showing up at camp. Or who is showing up at camp. It's like, who's not, I think would be the easier thing than who is, right? Anyway, I just saw some little sniblet somewhere about Marshawn Lattimore's expected at Saints OTAs. I'm like, yeah, of course he is.
Right. I mean, it's not OTAs, it's minicamp.
Minicamp, apologies, right. Yep.
Yeah, which is mandatory. OTAs are not.
Right.
Voluntary stuff this year or in some previous years. And so he's apparently at the facility or ready to go tomorrow. And it's tough to portray that as a story because it's like writing about every plane that lands,
Right. Brett Martell ate food and drank water today and breathed air.
But I think it would be a real story if he wasn't there. And also there's a bigger story tomorrow really will be if Alvin Kamara is or isn't there. And then what does he have to say about missing the OTAs, which he's allowed to do under the contract. He's perfectly allowed to miss those, but what kind of signal it sends when they have a new offensive coordinator with a new run scheme and he's the best running back on the team and he's not kind of involved in that.
Brett, we did a count. You and 19 people in Metro New Orleans are interested in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, I am interested. I think the most compelling thing about it is just that, obviously all of Canada is interested and increasingly so because a Canadian team is in it.
Yeah. U.S. versus Canada is pretty cool. Brett, by the way, everybody is from Maine and Brett can
won the Stanley Cup since I was in college in 1993 and Patrick Roy was the goalie for the Montreal Canadiens and they beat the Los Angeles Kings.
Wow.
So that was 30 something years ago. And, Edmonton's trying to kind of break that streak, but I think Florida's the better team.
How about NBA Finals? Boston's up 2-0. Is it too much for Dallas? But it goes to Dallas now. And home is the biggest advantage in all pro sports is NBA home. I mean, every year you got 30 teams. Maybe it's usually single digits. Sometimes there are exceptions. But it's usually 7, 8, 9 teams out of 30 have a winning road record. It's crazy. And that's always the hardest place to play on the road. But I don't know if it means anything. Boston seems so good. And Tatum can just take over the game at any time, like unstoppable takeover.
Well, they got Porzingis back, and he's playing fairly well for having missed the last 2 series. And I think that having him back in addition to who already is playing well, such as Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Yep.
And White, who's really come on, hit some clutch shots.
That's why Boston didn't want the Anthony Davis deal for those players, Brown and Tatum. That was who the Pels were getting,
Right.
If you remember that in Boston, it's like, no, thanks.
So, now Boston really, I mean, with that core, they've been to the finals 2 years ago and lost to Golden State. Now they're back and in position to close the deal.
Yep. Dallas is really going to have to, I don't know how they can get back in this. A win tonight helps, but it's just going to be really tough. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see this thing go to 6 or 7, but right now Boston seems like they're in control, Brett.
Yeah, indeed. We'll see. you'd think Dallas is going to make more adjustments, right? They're going to have a few days to digest what went wrong in Boston. They'll be at home, see what they can do. Maybe they can make it an interesting series. But it just looks like Boston has a little bit too much for them and for virtually everybody else this year.
Yep. Brett, anything we're missing?
Not really. No. I mean, the Pelicans are going to be drafting later this month. So
they said no to the Lakers and will get the pick next year, the Lakers first rounder next year, right?
Correct. So they didn't take the Lakers 17th pick this year.
And they select, where did the Pels select? Somewhere around 17.
21st. It's
okay.
not going to be, so they're in the bottom third of the first round, which, you can get somebody great there, but it doesn't make a splash on the day they're drafted usually.
So the Pels thinking is we don't want 17 since we have 21, coupled with maybe the Lakers aren't going to be good next year?
Yeah, you don't know. But, I mean, the Lakers are in a transitional period, right?
Yeah.
We talked about them looking for a new coach. And, having a 17 and 21, unless you're going to trade both of those to move up to where? I mean.
Yeah, 15, no, I agree.
14.
And there's probably not a player that they're targeting that they think is an impact that they're going to get at 14 or 12 or whatever. Exactly, Brett.
Yeah, and maybe they're just hoping that the draft will be deeper next year. Or
and the Lakers, long in the tooth, LeBron James, all that. I'm guessing.
Right.
Yep. Brett, how can folks check out your stuff via the Associated Press?
Sure. The AP News app on a smartphone is free. It gives you news from all over the world, not just sports, and then apnews.com online. Other than that, AP articles, they appear in news outlets all over the world, obviously.
Yep. Always a pleasure, Brett. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, Corey. Take care.
That's Brett Martell from the Associated Press, another Martell Monday. Best quality, best price, best selection. I'm talking about Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home. You're heading home from work right now, checking out the program. You'll pass a Rouse's or two. Over 60 Rouse's. Over a third of them are in Metro New Orleans. That means in your neighborhood, right next door to your neighborhood. Tastes like home. Rouse's Markets.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you. It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
River Cities Total Maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Sonny Landreth from Lafayette, Cajun country. He can play the guitar. Hey, Baton Rouge, Helm Paint and Decorating has come to town. 4 Metro Baton Rouge locations. Just like New Orleans, Benjamin Moore Paint, free 2-hour delivery, experts that know paint and nothing else. That's what they do. Highland Road, Perkins Road, Jones Creek Road, Choctaw. Free 2-hour delivery. Benjamin Moore, high-quality paint. Helm Paint and Decorating, now in Baton Rouge. When you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, when you got to paint in Metro Baton Rouge, do it once, do it right. They will steer you in the right direction, the pros at Helm Paint and Decorating. Crazy to go anywhere else. Even this guy knows about Helm Paint and Decorating, and he's just a little basset hound. What's that, Blue Boy? Helm Paint and Decorating's the best. Over 55 years in New Orleans, now in Baton Rouge. Yep, you're on top of it, Blue Boy. Thank the Corporal, and thank you for watching and listening. I'll be back mañana. That's Tuesday, 4 p.m. right here. See you on the radio, TV, YouTube, all the different spots.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.